everybody. Today we're going to do a cosmetic yet functional upgrade to the Raptor 700, and a lot of you over the last couple years have said, why have I not upgraded the lights on the Raptor? And to be honest, I don't really ride at night very often. But there's a company called Restoquad that makes essentially an OEM replica headlight with much more modern technology in them. They also have some awesome daytime running lights integrated into them, so just during the day they're going to look much better on the machine than the stock headlights. Supposedly they've got a really great instruction list, and I will see if I can get them installed here today. So before I open this, I just want to let you know that they are doing a Labor Day sale this weekend, so feel free to go on restoquad.com and get a discount on your own headlight kit. So let's see what's in box number one. Oh, no way. Whoa. Oh, dude. Seriously, they crushed their marketing. Look at how sweet the logo is. I don't wear hats, but like, these are sweet hats. Thank you so much. Looks like some type of a nice bracket. So there's some blinkers in here, and I can actually do some street legal riding in my county, so we may actually put those to use a little bit. Came with a keychain, a little hopefully plug and play harness here. This says it's a battery monitor. I will also note that I really am not well versed in installing electric stuff at all, so we will see what that all entails. Let us see what is in the big box. Nice big bag here, some type of a harness inside. And it looks like we got a box in a box. These are packaged very nicely. Everything looks to be intact. Here's how they come. Let's lift this up. Thank you. I was banking on these stickers. I actually did all this just for the stickers because my truck needs some new stickers. One thing that made their product really appealing to me was everybody complimenting how great their instructions were. And here's the nice color picture instruction install booklet here. You can kind of see the daytime running lights in this picture. They're going to look super sharp. All right, let's check out one of these lights. Here is the headlight. Grab both of them here. They're not like super heavy by any means, but I mean, this looks very OEM. It's a shame that Yamaha doesn't do an upgrade like this from the factory, but what a great opportunity for a company like this to step in and fill the need. What is in this big bag? Oh wow, more stickers, dude. Dude, my truck is gonna be Restoquadded, man. Looks like a toggle switch for the blinkers, and there might even be a horn. Dude, if there's a horn, that's gonna be so fun. Wow, look at all this stuff. Dude, there's a horn. I'm gonna be honking at people. Raptor coming through. Wow, okay. So this all seems pretty impressive as a plug and play kit. Huge kudos to Restoquad, and I guess now I need to figure out how to put it on here. Okay, I pulled off the plastic. This thing needs a serious detail job underneath the plastic, but we'll get to that later. So now we need to take off the stock headlights. All right, let's pull this off. There we go. So now I'm supposed to take the rubber grommets out of the stock light. Easy enough. There we go. Might as well wipe these off while I got them out. Okay, now we'll put these in here. There's one. So grommets are swapped. Okay, now I've got to take this outer housing off and put it on the new lights. And I'm assuming it just kind of pries apart. Wow, those come off a lot easier than I expected. Those are just kind of snapped on there. There we go. All right, now I'm going to clean these out. Okay, these are clean, and let's put them on the lights. All right, big moment. Woo. All right, I got the covers on here. This last one in this top corner was a bit of a bear, so I just put it down on here and gave it a good push with a screwdriver with a flathead, and the tabs popped on. So these are good now. All right, next step is to reinstall. Plug that in. There we go. It gets as far as it goes. Okay, the lights are on. That was simple enough. The running lights are not on, and these are actually going to act as the blinkers as well, but I can at least show you what the lights look like so far. Here's the low beam and the high beam. So now there's this whole plug and play harness for the turn signals and the horn. The horn is going to be so funny. I can't wait to get that on there. I printed out instructions here that were on their website, so it's very good that they have this because I am not well versed in this jargon, so hopefully I can figure out how to get this all routed up nicely on the machine. Okay, I have decided that my next step is going to be putting on the turn signal little control switch here. There's a nice rubber grommet that goes around this. I'm probably going to have to take off the clutch actually. Right about there should be fine. Alright, this is gonna work. It's a little busy on the handlebars. I'm sure some of you guys are still cringing at my parking brake lever, but I used the parking brake, so it's gonna stay on there for now. Alright, and this is gonna be our blinker horn party here. Okay, so I have no reference point for how the harness is going to lay out through here, and I have a feeling this is going to need to come off anyway, so I'm going to take the gas tank off real quick. It's pretty dirty under here. I'm going to spray some stuff on it and just wipe a couple things down. I'm trying to figure out where everything is going to go right now. So I'm going to kind of try to rig up the blinkers in the back. As much as I want this to be a how-to, it may more or less be, once it's wrapped up, I show you how I did it. In order to get this little bracket that they give you to mount the blinkers on here, you gotta get this nut off. You kinda need to feed one of these through here. Now I had plugged all this in just to kind of see where it was gonna go, and then I had to unplug these. I ended up pulling one of the connectors off, which was my bad. I should have been looking more closely where I was pulling because they're a pretty snug fit. I'm just showing you this because if you're doing what I'm doing right now, you need to put these on before you plug them in. This is where I'm at with them at the moment. They're kind of bouncy, and like I get that it's good that they'll move. Originally I tried to put it back here because this is where the factory license plate bracket mounts on, and this is an OEM license plate bracket. Instead I drilled a little hole on the side of this bracket and put this little extension here and then raised it up as high and as far away from this as I could. The left side should be fine, that's wide open. So the wiring will be right behind here. So I'm gonna take off the rear fenders. Okay, I am hoping, like I said, to route the taillights underneath the plastic. I'm gonna pull this out. Obviously it's super dirty under here. It's not something you clean very often. Alright, so I took off this side of the airbox. Like I said, a lot of the electrical is running right underneath here. So I'm going to feed the harness underneath this. Alright, I got those through and they are intact. So now it's right by the rear brake light line, and this is gonna run through here. Got things where I want them. Okay, I've got this back in here. Here is the back of the harness, and you have this adapter that comes with for the turn signals. So that's gonna plug into here, and that's gonna lay down exactly where the rear brake light is at. And then this is where all my connections are gonna meet up. One side we've got yellow on yellow. This is for the turn signal itself. And then we're gonna plug the red on the red. And then we've got black, which is your ground. So it says that this is like a wire for full-time running lights, which there isn't anything to plug it into. So I'm gonna just wrap that in electrical tape. I'm assuming if you have an application where that would work, you could have it so these are constantly on like a daytime running light. So let's plug the other side in. Green is your right turn signal. So plug the yellow into the green and rinse and repeat. I'm tempted to wrap all this in electrical tape. I guess we'll see. I'm definitely gonna plug these ends right now. I'll cover those in tape. All right. Very pro wrap job. Now I'm gonna probably have to notch this plastic. This isn't a very big wire. I think if I notch this and then zip tie this to here, everything will stay out of the way. Pretty good. All right, I don't have to remove much material. I have this little round file that's about the same diameter as the wire. So I'm just gonna go like this. Should be a nice smooth edge. I think the plastic sits pretty flush, but it's not, you know, exactly spot on. Okay, I wrapped all these connections in electrical tape because it gets dirty in here. So I wrapped those up, and I'm gonna zip tie some stuff together here to hopefully secure it all in place. I'm actually gonna throw one more on here because zip ties are my best friend. That's pretty dang snug. These don't really want to go anywhere either. One step closer. Okay, I was about to hook everything up here. I actually got my ground on here. And then I was looking at this and I realized that I screwed up. I wanted this to be under here. So I got to pull it all out and refeed it, because there's way too much stuff partying up here to fit underneath this. So I'm gonna fix that real quick and then we'll move on. Okay, now it's gonna be time to get power going to the new system here. The turn signal kit came with two different types of adapters. This, to my understanding, would be for, you could say, constant power. So the only way to not have the lights powered would be to pull this fuse or physically unhook it, which is obviously not ideal. The other option for powering it would be this little fuse adapter, which will once again plug in right here, and this is going to go in our fuse box back here. So if we open our fuse box here, if you reference your little chart, the second from the bottom says head for headlights. There's a 10 amp fuse in here. We're gonna pull this fuse out real quick. There we go. So we're gonna put that in this little splitter right here. And to my understanding, this is what keeps the harness separate from essentially your factory electric system. So it looks like this is what we're looking at, and once again this is gonna more or less bypass the factory system. You'll still have that 10 amp fuse along with the 5 amp for the new harness, and this is gonna plug into your slot right down here. So now if I go to close this, it obviously won't close. I'm gonna have to trim the lid a bit, so I'm just going to take off what I need. I think I can keep a little bit of this closing tab so that it can still kind of stay locked down. So I'm going to see about trimming this plastic cover just enough to where this will fit. Whoa! That's gone. Hey, look at that. I was pretty close, man. It almost clears. All right, we are switching to a blade here. Hopefully I don't hurt myself. Yeah, this looks like it'll work a little better. The angle on this is just not very ideal. And voila. That's how much of that I had to remove in order to make this clear. So we're gonna plug these guys in right here. I'm actually gonna wrap this connection in electrical tape, and then I'm gonna feed it probably right about here. And then I can kind of bundle it, and I'm gonna zip tie them to my power commander cord right there. And that should be good. I don't want this dancing around. I'm gonna run a zip tie around that. All right, that shouldn't move anywhere. I'm gonna slap one on here in this little bundle. Once again, just because there's some of these points where it could maybe, I don't know, this stuff doesn't weigh anything, but just these little vibrations, I don't want it to get severed somewhere. So I'm gonna wrap a little electric tape right around here. And now we're gonna hook this up to the power commander. Okay, I got this routed where I wanted it, and I just put the gas tank on here just to make sure I've got clearance for everything. I can put one zip tie around this huge electrical harness here, so I'm gonna zip tie this down, and then this will run along the side of this because the gas tank sits on this pad, and it won't rub on this at all. So we'll put this zip tie here, and just to secure it to the side of this, I'm gonna zip tie it right here. I'm gonna put the tank on it because I want to see how much room I have up in here. Okay, so moving forward here, I've got the harness run underneath the tank. There's a big section of it here, and this is the connector for the handlebar controls. I'm gonna probably just leave this tucked in here. It actually fits pretty nicely. Right around this point is where everything splits off. We follow down, and obviously I can't show you everything because it's all fed through here. I've got two lines coming over here. This is the hazard switch. I don't plan on using it, but this is where I located it because I've got a lot of room on this side and I had a lot of extra length. So I zip tied all that together. I've got the blinker run over here along the same route as the hazard switch, and it goes in between the steering stem and the radiator. I zip tied it up in a manner where it shouldn't touch either one. Moving to the left side, there was this like OEM electrical box. I don't know what this was. I moved it one hole over. Inside here is the horn relay, and there was a lot of extra length to that, so maybe that could be shortened by Restoquad in the future. Either way, I bundled it all up, and that's zip tied to the frame. So that's gonna run down through here, and then this is gonna plug in from underneath. The horn is gonna mount right here. I just left it off so you guys could see. Also, I routed the blinker wire down here to the frame, so everything is snug. This is the relay for the blinker itself. That I actually bolted to the light bracket, to the fender bracket here, and that's all zip tied and folded up on itself. I've got a lot of extra cord here. This is for the handlebar switch. So that may actually end up kind of getting zip tied to part of this. I'm assuming there's a better way this could have been done potentially, but this is what I came up with after playing with a couple different combinations of routing. And my goal here is to help anybody that may be doing what I'm doing save some time. So I just put the seat on. I didn't even notice. There's marks here from this. There's a little pad on the seat that rests right here, which would sit right on this, and that's not very ideal. So I'm going to cut this zip tie and pull this thing back just a tad. All right, I pulled the slack out of this. It'll actually go up just enough. I don't want this to move at all, and I have some of this crazy T-Rex tape. So I cut a chunk out. We're gonna put it on there, and I think that's better than nothing. I'm looking at this wondering if there was a different way I could have done it. I mean, I don't really have a lot of options as to where this is gonna go. So this isn't very ideal because it's not like I can just pop plastic on and off, but to be honest, I can probably count on one hand how many times I've taken off the rear plastic on this four-wheeler. It's very seldom. So I've got plenty of this tape, I've got plenty of zip ties, not the end of the world. I'm trying to be proactive. So this is the last thing I'm gonna do. Seat is going on, and I suppose you guys wanna see the lights and hear the horn. All right, here is the daytime running lights. Now we're gonna turn on the low beams, and here are the high beams. So we'll turn them off. These are always on as long as the key is on, and I love how that looks. Left blinker and right blinker. And if I turn on both, they both flash. Time to pull off the protective film on the blinkers. And just like the daytime running lights in the front, these lights are always on. If I turn on the actual lights, then my brake light turns on, hit the brake, and rear blinkers. Left blinker, right blinker, and both. And here's where the horn is mounted. An awesome feature about the blinkers is there's a little LED light on here to tell you if your blinker's on, which is very convenient. So both blinkers on. Pretty slick, man. I'm pretty impressed with the whole setup. And here's the horn. And there's a little auxiliary plug on one of the relay boxes up there that would be for like a 3 amp output on a light bar, and that's what this would turn on and off. Actually, that lights up too to let you know that that is active. I've got that electrical tape wrapped up right now, but I might have to look into maybe a light bar I can take on and off since I have a convenient little plug for it underneath the front plastic here. All right, I loaded this thing up. I gotta do a quick test ride here in the dark. I'm pretty excited about how bright the lights are. I think it's gonna be a big upgrade. I also grabbed some night settings for my GoPro 11 that I've never used. So hopefully, since I don't ride at night, the footage turns out pretty good. I'm excited to see how the lights work, and we're gonna head out there right now and get unloaded. I think having amber DRLs would be really sick, but dude, I can't believe how bright they are, man. They're actually insanely bright. We'll turn off the flashers here. Man, that's just the running lights. And just first impressions, dude, this is like insane, the upgrade over stock. There's the high beam turning on, but I'm honestly shocked. I didn't think they were that bright. All right, let's do a little night ride. Man, I'm pretty impressed with the overall brightness. They don't kick out real wide, but this is a substantial upgrade over stock, like night and day. First impressions are definitely very, very good, man. I'm excited about this. And there's that little auxiliary jack that was on that flasher box that I mounted up in the front. And maybe I can get a handlebar mounted light bar, because that would be a massive game changer. Gotta make sure there's no trees down or anything. Oh, there's a tree down right there. Oh, there's a tree down on that climb. Dang it. Might just have to go up and down the main trail. Man, this thing is so torquey. Well, I'm kind of bummed some of my lines aren't cleared out, but that's on me because I haven't been out here in a while. All right, I better call our quits over here before the neighbors get upset. I'm gonna take it out on the road. Oh, we'll turn on the blinker. Oh, I can't reach it with my thumb. Oh, the only downside. Blinker on. To be honest, the high beam, you know, it has some effect, but it's not really that much brighter. You know, normally when you're riding at night, you're not doing anything overly crazy as far as high speeds or anything. So I'm a bit disappointed that the button's too far away for me to reach. It'd be easier during the day where I can actually see it. It is hilarious though, and I got the horn. Big epic moon tonight. I don't know if you can see it over there. Linkage's pretty sick, man. I'll actually do hand signals on the trail for people behind me sometimes, just to give them a heads up if I'm going to turn. So I'm definitely going to use the blinkers for that for sure. This is the end of the install project with the street legal harness available from Restoquad that includes the blinkers, and then obviously you got to buy these headlights separate. Pretty happy with how it all came together. Shout out to them also for doing a FaceTime with me at one point, helping me for sure validate where I was putting everything. Like I said, pretty happy with how this all came out. I will say that the high beams could maybe have a little more range. That's probably one of the only negative things I could think of right now about the kit. And then also the blinker setup could be moved over more. And also I'm running the OEM clutch perch. I mean, I guess if you had an aftermarket clutch perch, it'd probably be closer to your hands. I'm definitely excited to use it during the daytime, and I haven't gone out for any ditch rides yet this fall, but I can ride this legally on most of our county highways if I want to. I don't really pavement ride much. In doing this, it kind of makes me want to get a set of street tires, which is one reason why I don't ride on the pavement, because it'll just burn your knobbies down so fast. So maybe I can source a set of street tires for this thing and kind of do a little pavement setup.
The horn is super funny. It, for lack of a better word, sounds kind of like a clown horn, but I'm very entertained by it. I think it's gonna be fun. The daytime running lights look sick. If you don't do the full harness like I did and you just get the headlights, you have the option to run the daytime running lights up with the amber color, which actually looks pretty sharp as well. But overall, the increased brightness at night was substantial. And I do gotta say, sorry about the GoPro footage. That was my first test run in the evening. I was kind of on a time crunch. I think I'm gonna have to play with my GoPro settings a little bit. They actually recommended turning off the stabilization, which made it a little shaky, but it's supposed to help clean the footage up. So we'll see if I can get the night vision setup dialed. I do also wanna maybe look into a handlebar mounted light bar for it, since I have that auxiliary jack like I mentioned. And we are going to Oklahoma in the middle of October to ride the dunes, and it would be sweet to have just a little more brightness so it can be safe if I do go out for a night ride or two. Also, don't forget that the Labor Day sale is going on this weekend on Restoquad.com, and you can get the lights for like 210 bucks or something. They're like 30 bucks off. So definitely a good time to grab a set of lights if you want. I think these quads should come with these headlights. I'm very tempted to get a set for my 450 now. They definitely look sharp. And of course, last but not least, thank you to everybody that's been supporting us by buying parts and merch on our website. You guys rock. Head over to PeteHager.com if you want to check it out. And until the next video, I'm super excited to get out riding. I hope you guys are too. Ride safe, and we'll catch you on the next one.